Hey y'all, welcome to Reflecting Divinity. Thank you so much for being here. Today's Pick a Card Tarot reading is, if you haven't noticed, Halloween themed. My intention for this video is to bring through messages around what is being released from you now. So, what needs to be released, what is releasing, so that good things can come in, good energies, good opportunities. In some way, this could be seen as a bit of a shadow work reading. So we're going to look at maybe what is in the shadow, what is in the subconscious that has not been acknowledged. So as these parts of us are brought into the light and given awareness, we can shed what isn't serving us and then allow more room for good to come in, or for the good qualities of us that we want to encourage to grow within us. Those have more room to develop. So that is the theme for this reading. Now, for today's reading, we have 3 piles. For pile 1, we have Nunderite. For pile 2, we have black kyanite, and it looks a bit like a witch's broom. And then for pile 3, we have dragonstone. So you can go ahead and take a few moments to tap into your intuition to see which pile is calling to you. The final messages will be from the Halloween Oracle Guidebook. Just as a reminder, these readings are considered to be timeless, and they are general readings, so just take what resonates, release the rest. And on that note, I will see you at your selected reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Nunderite, this is your reading. So I'm going to leave this until the end, but I do have some messages that I pulled through in meditation before, so I'm going to give those to you now. Pile 1, the first thing I heard in going into meditation for you was Lovely Bones. And I know that there is a movie called The Lovely Bones. I believe it was based on a book. I could be wrong about that. That may be relevant to some of you. But then what I heard was that phrase of, I feel it in my bones. And this is what I feel like was the main message behind that. And in the Halloween Oracle deck, actually, there is a card that is a skeleton card, and it is about strength and inner strength. And that was sort of the feeling I was getting, is that there is this core foundational part of you. It is your inner knowing. It is your intuition. It is your gut instinct. And what it felt like is when you are around people and situations, you know that something maybe isn't right about a particular person or a situation, that you can really almost instantly have this immediate reaction where it is almost like you feel it in your bones, that you are so receptive to this energy, to the vibration of other people, that you sense this. And what it felt like was that there's some maybe questioning on your part of this reaction that you have instead of trusting it. So maybe there is an aspect of not trusting your intuition or your instinct, or maybe brushing it off in some way. Spirit is saying that if you can clear that out it will allow for you to have more growth. And what I heard, this was in success, it is in strength, it is in your own clarity and power in yourself. And as this was coming through, I saw this strong pillar of light, and this felt like it was a part of you, or you were a part of it. And so I do feel like in some way this is you reclaiming your own power and your own strength and trusting yourself and not letting that sort of doubt creep in and make you question yourself and not trust your intuition and instincts. I do want to go ahead and just start with the dark mirror deck to pull one card related to what is in the shadow or what needs to be released or brought into the light, to have awareness brought to it. Let's see. Pile one. Okay, so this is interesting. You have 24, Queen of My World. So this card to me is rather positive. So I would say this is something that maybe has not been brought into the light. This is your power. This is your strength. This is that knowing who you are and letting it take precedence in how you show up in the world. And so there maybe hasn't been this part of you that has kept this very natural and like essential part of you, a foundational part of you. This part has been kept at bay. It's been kind of locked away. It's been questioned. And I feel like this questioning wasn't something that came naturally to you, to question and doubt yourself, but it was more instilled in you. And so something that you can do is, when you catch yourself questioning yourself and having those doubts, maybe pose the question to the question and say, well, why do you think this way? Why is this coming up for me? And start to go down that path a little ways to see, as you pick at those threads, what is going to be revealed to you? Where does it stem from? Because this is holding you back in some way, and that's why Spirit is bringing it up, because you are meant to be seen. You are meant to be heard, and your perspective, it's such an integral part of you, this instinct, this knowing. And when you are not allowing it to come out and be shared, your perspective is limited. And I feel like you're meant to really shine and again, be seen. And so Spirit wants you to start to reclaim it. Start to reclaim this in your life, pile one. That you create the world that you are in. If you're keeping yourself kind of locked away in a sense, your world is more limited. But if you really let yourself be free in every way and really experience things with that beautiful openness that is natural to you, the world just responds. The universe responds. The blessings flow in, and you have this presence. I just keep coming kind of back to that word presence, and people looking at you, and there is meant to be, this admiration for you, pile one. that you have this strength and that you are this connected and powerful. So don't hide that away, pile one. So I did have some tarot cards here that I want to get into, and these are Halloween themed. So let's see. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords with Alien. We have the Queen of Pentacles, Dryad. And we have the Fool with a Fool. So this is really telling to me of your power with Queen of Pentacles, Dryad. Your connection, that you are so connected to this world, to the earth, to this material reality, that you can use all these elements to weave the world around you. You are a manifester, pile one. This is so natural to you. And in a sense, it feels like when you aren't in your power, when you are questioning yourself and doubting yourself and not allowing your intuition to come forward, you are like cutting off yourself from these deep roots. You're cutting yourself off at the branches that reach out and receive. And so again, like I said, that feels much more limited. So I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles here is reminding you just how natural this is to you. It is a part of you. It is you. So to reclaim it, to be in your power, and that is your strength. It is your deep roots that give you strength by holding you to the ground, right? And it is the branches that reach out and nourish you and reach the sun, reach for the light. So if you are clamping down on your kind of instincts, your intuition, I mean, there's no other way around it, you are limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself. But the thing is, I feel like what I was getting before with this being instilled in you in some way, that it doesn't come naturally to you. It may even seem like you have no idea where this comes from. It doesn't quite make sense. Maybe you can't remember when this became a thing in your life, pile one. And with the Three of Swords, Alien here, what I always feel like with aliens and the idea of like abductions, it is that there's interference, but there's also cloaking. There's that sense of hidden memories that are cloaked. They are tucked away somewhere in your mind, and you almost don't, you're still responding to them, but you don't know that they're even there. And that's what it feels like, is that reaction of yours to question yourself, to doubt yourself, was put there by someone else in your life, probably from a young age, but maybe not necessarily from a young age. But it was such a subtle way, it feels like. It was sneaky. I feel like that's something that comes across with aliens, is that they sneak around and there's this kind of mystery around them. And they're doing nefarious things. Like, this wasn't for your own good. This has brought you more pain in some way, to doubt yourself. There could be anxiety around how you feel about yourself, how you show up in the world. And so what Spirit is saying, that you, by reclaiming your intuition, by starting to notice when it comes up for you that you start questioning yourself or feeling uncomfortable with your own reaction to something, maybe feeling your own emotions, getting a sense, getting a knowing deep in your bones, that initial reaction you have to doubt yourself, to wonder if you are worthy, to wonder if the emotions you're feeling are acceptable. That's your clue to tap in and be like, I wonder why this is coming up. Where is this coming from? What is it connected to? Start to peel away those layers. This takes time. And I will say, shadow work it is challenging, but there are so many professionals out there who can help you with this if you feel like it's too overwhelming, and that's okay. This isn't something that you have to do, all in one day. This is something that we do throughout our lives because there's always more to uncover about ourselves. So I just want to say that and say that I'm not a professional psychologist or a therapist or anything like that. So this is definitely just from my spiritual perspective, as well as what, spirit is bringing through. But I will just say that you are capable of doing this and moving forward and releasing these ties to those old kind of patterns and ways of thinking. As you start to question and maybe release some of these doubts, or the questioning mind, right? As you question the questioning and those are released, you open yourself up so much more. And this feels like such a fresh start for you with the Fool. There's a fresh start. There's a new adventure awaiting you, pile one. And with the Fool, this feels like a lot more lightness coming in for you, lightheartedness, enjoyment. There's a sense of freedom. There's being carefree and flowing with where life takes you. And there's no longer the questioning of yourself, but maybe the questioning of the world and being curious. And instead of always questioning yourself, if you can question the world will answer back, right? The universe is here to respond to you with Queen of My World. There's co-creation here. There's this new beginning. And when you finally start to kind of listen to your intuition, listen to those gut instincts that are coming up, you start to release the people and situations from your life that no longer serve you. And that opens up in your physical reality, not just internally, emotionally, and in your mind. This opens up your world physically, quite literally, maybe opening new doors for you, allowing more to come in that way as well. That opens up more room, again, for you to maybe finally listen to your intuition, or that part of you that maybe was blocked away or in the shadow, not listened to, and something comes up that sparks your interest. That's something there that wants to be seen and acknowledged, and that could be one of the paths that you take into this next part of your journey. And I just heard there is greatness there on this journey as you move forward. And the other thing, as I'm hearing the word regal and that sense of being born worthy of the ultimate title, and that just inherently deserving of what life has to offer with being regal or being a queen, right? That kind of royalty, I guess, is what I'm saying. I'm getting that sense from spirit is for you to recognize that you, like everyone else, is made in the divine image and are worthy of that. You are inherently worthy of that. And so not to limit yourself in what you are allowing yourself to receive. So we have 2 cards from the Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle. And so we have Healer 22. Listen as the medicine bleeds through her teeth, a river of mercy blessed by Mother, seen only by those who hold her mirror. And then we have Seduction. Hear the roaring flames with a masterful trance that calls upon heaving chest. Give in to its alluring grip, if you please, but heed my warning of the claws that draw blood without mercy. So with healer, I feel that this is very much related to that sense of you being in your power and being successful. Not only are you healing yourself, but with that pillar of light that I was shown as being part of you, or you part of it, I feel like that's what it is connected to, is that you have this ability to heal others, and even just being you and showing up, your presence has a healing effect on others. And so along that line of you being a healer and your presence being healing for others, you are healing in that you are that example of having clarity in yourself, finding strength within yourself for other people, that you can exemplify that in some way. I want to look up seduction, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up in the book. Okay, so pile 1, I'm just going to read what is standing out to me from the book about seduction. The act of seduction is powerful. It is birthed in passion and sensuality. But beware, seduction is rarely as it seems. It can also be an act of manipulation. It is the rose that promises you much, only to leave you pierced by its thorns. It is time to break temptation's hold. It feels good to feel moments of love, acceptance, perhaps abundance or fun, but be mindful of the cost of such moments. These experiences are free. You do not have to sacrifice your morals, values, or integrity to make another person happy. If someone asks you to do something that feels wrong, know that it probably is. Trust your intuition and follow your heart when temptation comes knocking. So for some of you, though I was feeling for some of you, it was a pattern instilled in you from childhood. For some of you, it didn't feel that way. And what is coming up for me and looking at this card of seduction and in reading from the book, this feels like it could be related to a partnership of some sort, some type of relationship, and this relationship feels seductive. There's something tempting about it, or there was something tempting about it, but as it drew you in, it created this pattern within yourself where you started to question, you started to doubt yourself. And it was from this manipulation energy, which is the energy that I was getting from Alien and the Three of Swords, that there is that manipulation, there is that kind of subtle control and maneuvering in your mind and in your emotions, that it warps, it twists up reality and changes you in subtle ways, at least at first, but then that grows over time. When people are manipulative in our lives, it becomes quite, I'm trying to think of the word, but it's kind of hidden in plain sight almost. And so there could be someone in your life that's toxic, and there needs to be that cutting out of this person. And I can see that in the Queen of My World card, where you take your power back and you begin to listen to yourself once again, and you pick up the spear in your hand and you cut those ties that aren't healthy. And these could be ties quite literally, like a relationship you are in right now, but it could also be something from the past that is still energetically or emotionally taking you back there and kind of controlling you in some way, or manipulating you still. the old manipulation can still be manipulating you in the present. So this is something that Spirit's bringing forward to you, so as to remind you of your own strength, your own power, and to trust yourself once again. And this brings so much more clarity. It's like you move from confusion to clarity as you begin to listen to yourself and trust yourself again, and to cut out that doubt from your mind and from your heart. And as you do this, you heal yourself and others, and you show up to be a support for others. You know, I see this dryad as you and all the natural elements building off and developing and growing from the dryad, as the dryad supports this ecosystem. I feel like that can be you in this instance. And the Fool here is, this is freeing you into this new sense of who you are, and you're really discovering so much more about yourself, pile 1. So I want to go ahead and get a couple cards from the Magical Spell card deck to see what good energies are able to come in as you start to step into your own power and trust yourself. What will be coming in for you? Okay, so we have Harvest. As the waves of the ocean are infinite, as the trees in the forest grow tall, let my work now bring me to harvest. I am ready to receive my all. Yeah, so you are reaping the benefits of this. You are finally able to receive more. Like I was saying, as you cut out, you are able to receive so much more because you clear up that space within. And so here we have letting go. Allow the wisdom to remain, but the sting I shall never feel again. So yeah, this is a letting go process. It is a cord cutting process. It is energetically, emotionally pulling yourself back from whatever this is, whether it resides in the past or whether it is in your life right now. If it's a relationship, if it's a friendship, if it's, you know, something that your inner child is experiencing that is being brought up into your present. There could be so many things that this is, but this is a process of letting go. And I do feel for some of you, maybe something that would be helpful is journaling. That is coming to me, and to write. If it's hard for you to pin down what you're feeling and what's coming up, or that writing could be helpful, especially if you're starting to question your memories around things, because it almost feels like this energy, whoever it was or whatever it was, could have maybe gaslit you or made you doubt yourself in that way, like almost like your memories, you feel like you can't trust your memories. But what I'm feeling is your sense of your reality is still there, your truth is still there, and there is clarity there as you filter out and release all that stuff that was put onto you and put into you that is not yours. As you let go and release, you will have again that reconnection to who you are. You'll recognize it. It will feel natural. It'll feel like you. And then that's going to allow so much more to come in for you. So much more abundance. And 4 and 3, that's standing out to me for some reason tonight. But that's would be 7. And 7 is a very spiritual number. I would connect it with intuition. I would connect it with healing and showing up as a healer. So this could be a new path for you as you become inspired to help other people release and recover themselves in some way from these types of situations or relationships, that you can share your wisdom, right? That you will keep that wisdom and you will be a teacher in some way. as you help others heal. So pile one, let's get to your final message with the Halloween Oracle. Oh my gosh. Yes, we have the witch, the earthly weaver of the world. So, I mean, if you were still questioning how powerful you are, pile one, I don't know what else to say, but you have this energy. You have this very naturally. You are so connected to the earth and you are a manifester. And so you have this power. You have this strength. You create your own reality. Trust that you do that. Trust that you are capable of this deep healing and this moving forward in your life. And whatever that calling is for you, I am just getting that sense of you being yourself in some way that is your life purpose. It's like you going through these tough situations, these challenges, the process of healing, that in some way is what you are meant to show the world, that you are meant to share with the world. So let's go ahead and read your message. Earth, air, fire, water, a woman lovely, a woman strange, weaver of the worlds, moon's daughter, witch, the catalyst for change. Witches have had a bad PR day for a couple of millennia now. Originally, the healers or cunning women of the village. The very word witch comes from the Celtic word wicca, meaning weaver or wise. When the new religion of Christianity spread through the land, the custodians of the old pagan ways, in part witches, were labeled as evil and, as we know from history, persecuted. They were driven underground or under the night sky into the shadows of misunderstanding and darkness. However, for the purposes of Halloween, let's look at witches as the weavers of magic and change. Through spells and rituals and even through herbal recipes, yes, often brewed in a cauldron, they weave the powers of this world and the next in synergy to solve problems and heal. Holding the witch card means that you can weave your own change throughout your life and that magic indeed is afoot. You must understand that you have power and it is real. It may also indicate that others may be threatened by your developing personal power and that they may not appreciate or like the changes in you as you grow. Be prepared for this and do not be discouraged. New friends and better opportunities will be attracted instead. Yes, pile one, I am so happy for you that this is unfolding for you. You are releasing. I'm not even going to say it's the new you. It's you. It is who you've always been. And you're just reconnecting to it, reintegrating it, and showing it off the way you should, because you are powerful and you have a calling to enjoy life, to be curious, to be connected, to be a teacher, a way shower, a healer. And there is no reason for you to hang on to these old ways, these old people, these old situations, old ways of thinking. I hope this reading was helpful for you. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, then hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. I give you my love and I wish you all the best. Until next time. Bye, pile one. Hello, pile two. If you chose the black kyanite, then this is your reading. And so we'll leave the Halloween Oracle until the end. And I do have some messages that I pulled through in meditation, so I'm going to give those to you now. The first thing I felt for you, pile two, is a sense of softness and a sense of rest and comfort. And the image that I saw was quite beautiful. I saw a person lying down, almost like they were a giant in a landscape. And so they laid down and their head was resting on a mountain, as if it were a pillow. And the sense I got was this ultimate comfort and this deeply grounding and nourishing energy. It came through, though, with lots of light blues and indigos and purples. And so what it felt like is that maybe you've been dealing with some fear and anxiety, some internal struggles, a feeling of not being good enough, not being seen. That in particular stood out to me. And I heard self-abandonment, and that all of this is ready to be released, all the pain. I heard the question, who are you catering to? Because in some way this feels like you trying to appease or fit someone else's expectations, and that in doing that, it is causing you fear and anxiety, as well as that internal struggle, because there's some part of you that's not authentic to you. And so you are, in a sense, abandoning yourself, and therefore your true self is not being seen in some way. So what's coming in for you, it feels like, is a deep healing and comfort and nurturing energy. And so we'll start with the Dark Mirror Oracle, just to get one card about what's currently in the shadow, what needs to be brought out into the conscious, into the light, what needs to be released or is releasing so that more good can come in. Okay, we have envious gluttony. Ooh, okay. And if it will stay. Envious gluttony. The first thing I'm feeling is that any time that you have a sense of a want or need within yourself, you automatically shame yourself. That there's this feeling of, I'm not allowed this. And so Spirit is pointing out that you have this feeling of being a glutton almost, that you are this needy being demanding things. But the thing is, it feels like that's not true, and that there's people around you who maybe are demanding certain things of you and essentially asking or forcing you to deny yourself basic things that you deserve and should be able to have in your life and your experience. There is this sense as well of you feeling like these very natural parts of you, the desire to be seen, the desire to be heard and acknowledged, and not just acknowledged, but even the want to have people be proud of you even. I feel like this is tied possibly to childhood or something, but it's like that craving for that attention. And there's maybe a part of you that feels ashamed for wanting this or feeling like you need this. And there's some sense of, again, holding yourself back or abandoning yourself because other people have told you that you aren't worthy or good enough to have these things. So Spirit wants you to get rid of this, to not judge yourself or others for needing or wanting more. And that you needing and wanting things to be better, or that you need more, that isn't inherently gluttonous, and it is perfectly natural. I want to get some tarot cards for some more context, and these are Halloween themed. Okay, we have Seven of Cups, we have the Knight of Pentacles, oh, and we have the Page of Cups, Satyr. So with Seven of Cups, we have Nessie, and the Knight of Pentacles, we have Warrior. So the Seven of Cups it is interesting here. With the Seven of Cups, we would usually see someone faced with different chalices and possibly a sense of confusion or not knowing which cup to pick up, right? And the interesting thing that's coming up is that I'm again feeling that connection to that sense of being a glutton somehow, and wondering if you wanting all of it makes you a glutton, that makes you unworthy in some way because you want too much, that you expect too much. But the feeling is that you in some way feel like you're not even worthy of picking up one cup. And with Nessie being here, I get the connection to, again, shadow work and the idea that there is this deep subconscious, that within this there are mysteries and things that don't make sense to us, that maybe scare us, that seem monstrous. I'm getting that sense that you feel that there's a part of you that's monstrous. And Spirit is saying this is just not true, that this needs to be released because you've been told this. This is not you. And I do feel like Spirit wants you to do some deep healing, some deep comforting. And so, pile 2, as you open up, as you get into that part of you that feels unworthy, that feels that shame around wanting and needing, and you start to see where that comes from and why it's there, as you start to kind of unravel this that's been built up within for some time, you start to see how there is a difference between, wanting things and being envious of things. That you aren't, I don't know why this is coming, you aren't inherently bad, pile 2. And I feel like there is that sense, again, like with that idea of Nessie and like being monstrous in some way, and like maybe there's a sense of you've had to hide yourself away because you feel like you're almost like, are you too scary for the world? This is some deep stuff, and so Spirit is saying like it is time to release this. This feels heavy. It feels confusing. It feels like you can't move forward, that it feels like you're stuck. And so what Spirit is saying with the Knight of Pentacles and with Warrior in this deck, it's going to take dedication to do this. It's going to take not only, swift action. It's going to take steady movement, right? It's not something that can be rushed. And I feel like this is especially important for you because you need to have some time to nurture yourself, to nurture your inner child, to talk to the parts of you that have been within this feeling of abandonment and shame and feeling this way for so long. They need to be kind of coaxed out and told that they are worthy. And as I am not a professional psychologist or therapist, I cannot give you advice in that way. I will say, of course, seek out whatever, professional if you feel like you need that to help you work through this. But there is so much that we can do on our own as well. But there is that sense of that you cannot rush this. With that Knight of Pentacles, it's important to remember that slow, steady work gives you the results ultimately faster because there's more care and attention being given to this. And this is what's coming in for you. There is planting of new seeds, and the sense I'm getting is like with soil, it has to be tilled. You have to bring up and unpack the soil so that nutrients are distributed, so that when the seeds are planted, right, water can seep in from the rain. I'm no gardener, I'm no farmer, but this is the sense, right, that's coming, is that you have to unpack that earth, and that's tough. That's what's challenging. That's the shadow work, is that you have to till that up. You have to churn it up so that what needs to be loosened, like the rocks in the field that will get in the way of the planting, Those have to be taken out of the field. And I feel like that's what you will begin to do, and it will begin to lighten your load. And you will begin to be able to plant those seeds. And it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time, pile 2. But you're on this path to the Page of Cups with Satyr and being so in tune emotionally. You're flowing again. So we're going from a stagnant state of confusion and hiding yourself away to being this bright, shiny, creative, flowing individual. And you're taking on now like new opportunities that you would never have allowed yourself to even see them before. It would have been just assumed to not be for you. And this is going to free up your inner child as well with the Page of Cups. It is playful. It is joyful. This is what's coming in for you, pile 2. I do want to pull a couple cards from the Seasons of the Witch. This is the Samhain. So we already had Transformation fly out, and I want one more. I feel like this one wants to come out. Okay, so we have Transformation 39, like 1,000 storms held in hands soft against the winds. There is change arising from deep within. Yes, this is the deep subconscious. It is what is hidden. It is what has been kept away from the light, and it is ready to come out, to be transmuted, to be transformed into something else, something helpful. It is that soil that needs to be softened, and to create a fertilized bed, more things have to be added. So this is this kind of alchemical transmutation, transformation energy that I'm feeling here that will support you in this, is to think about it in that way, that you're really working. I'm also getting that you maybe should work with your hands. I'm really getting that earth energy, working with clay, working in the dirt. Maybe you need to garden or grow plants, be out in nature, get your hands dirty, pile 2. Allow yourself that. Make a mess, pile 2. You need to make a mess. I feel like in some way you weren't allowed to make messes. With Elders 15, birthed from seed within the belly of the moon, they are the wise felt touches over our hearts and felt deep within the marrow of our spirit. Ooh, so this, I'm getting the sense of ancestral healing with this, that what you are doing by digging up some of this is you're actually digging up ancestral patterns, ancestral pain that was passed down and put upon you or put within you, but that you are going to be able to give birth to this new way of being. As you heal this, as you transform this, again, you're planting seeds, you're planting new seeds in fresh soil. So you're not going to have that, leftover like toxic waste that will then permeate the seed and cause damage, is the metaphor that's coming to mind. I feel like you are receiving the help of your ancestors in doing this because they want to heal too. They are supporting you, and that even the other people in your life that haven't healed, that are maybe it's not on their path to heal and to become whole and to repair some of this within themselves or within their relationships, that you taking this step and doing this work will reverberate to them, to the past, to the future, to the people in your life around you connected to this, they will in some way benefit from this. It is not up to you to heal them, but just your healing and your work in this will be beneficial to them. And that's what I'm feeling. So I do want to pull a couple cards about what good is coming in for you. And these are the magical spell cards. Ooh. This one wants to fly out. Well, actually, there's 3 here, but they flew out quite energetically. So let's take them. We have dream sweet, sleep deep. Sleep that's deep and lasts till morn, wondrous dreams for days reborn. Oh my goodness. That's that sense of you being asleep, like being part of the landscape. Being out in nature will be rejuvenating to you. Like you need this time to rest, to nourish, to process this. And that's okay, because you're going to be setting the stage for rebirth here. We have victory. I shall celebrate and I shall rise. I will let victory make me wise. Yes, you're going to be victorious in this. You are going to, again, like with this cup and the page of cups, I'm seeing this connection of you getting back in touch with who you really are. And I feel like maybe you never have been in touch before. So it's like this first meeting. It's that curiosity. It's playfulness. It is that inner child sense. You're getting in touch with this part of yourself. And you're bringing so much more wisdom as you work through this to that you can in some way guide that inner part of yourself, your inner child that needs that positive influence, that you can be this for yourself. Pile 2. And we have 41. We have imagination. Imagination now sets me free. Divine ones, I send my thanks to thee. Yeah, I feel like you're being activated in your imagination like a child. You're going to feel so much more creative and again, connected and flowing. I feel like your imagination will be a way for you to more deeply know yourself and to know spirit. And this feels really good, pile 2. Much more freeing. And I feel like your creations, your imaginations are meant to be seen by others. So maybe you've been drawn to create in some way, and releasing this feeling of that you're not worthy or you shouldn't be seen will allow you to take that step, pile 2. So let's go ahead and look at your final message, which is here. So we have Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality. Yes, you're finally going to be accepting yourself and seeing yourself as worthy, as deserving, as equal as others. And I feel like as you shift this on your life, others will see this as well. That it can't be denied at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and read from the book. Pale, you step out of the night in red lace, full flowers upon your crown. You bring the beauty to death, the equality and joy of the underground. The iconic Lady of Death, with a pale, skull-like face, zombie eyes, and rich red funeral flowers in her hair, has become one of the most recognizable symbols of Halloween and the Mexican Day of the Dead. The original model for this flamboyant Lady of Death can be traced back to the ancient Aztec goddess Miktika Siwato. As time went on, the figure remained balanced between beauty and horror, and morphed into the Lady of the Dead, and eventually into the more modern graphic figure of Katrina. It is also reported that the identity of the original Katrina was based on women who were very rich and had everything they wanted in this life. Yet, death takes everyone equally. So it was a reminder that no matter how beautiful, rich, popular, or famous you were, in the end, death takes all. The Mexican culture has a long-standing history of laughing at death and seeing it as just another aspect of life. In some ways, death is the last taboo in many Western cultures. We tend to hide away our dying, and some of us may never even see the body of someone who has passed in our whole lives. But this was a much more common occurrence in the past. Acknowledging that death is a natural process that will enter everyone's life at some point, and that perhaps until then, we can choose to be life-affirming, takes away much of the fear. Take a light approach to a situation initially, and it may work out better. If you are holding on to something that does not serve you any longer, in particular material things, simplify and let it go. Okay, so yeah, the strong message about letting go and allowing this transformation. With that energy of death being the equalizer and the connection between death and transformation and transition, there is this very potent energy coming in for you right now as you work through this, as you release everything that isn't serving you, as you are clearing that out. It leaves you so much more room, pile 2, for creative, imaginative inspiration. That's what it feels like. And so this is what's coming in for you, and you will be victorious in this, and you're going to feel so much better. I feel like physically and mentally and emotionally, you're going to feel this in your body. I feel like it could show up in how you sleep, how you dream, and you will be doing even processing in your dreams, in your imagination. It's a rich landscape. Again, I'm coming back to landscape. It's a rich landscape for you. It's like your canvas, your imagination, the natural world. It's all there for you as you transform pile 2. So I hope this reading was helpful for you in some way. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, then hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And know that I give you all my love. I wish you all the best. But until next time, bye, pile 2. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Dragon Stone, this is your reading. So we'll go ahead and put the Halloween Oracle card to the side for your final message. And I'll give you what came through for you in meditation. I saw a butterfly, and I felt the energy of transformation, of transition. And what felt like was maybe the Archangel Azrael coming in for you to support you in this transitional time. And I got the sense of you jumping from one level to the next. And the sense I got was you jumping from one platform to a slightly higher platform, and I almost felt like I saw you mid-leap in the air. And so it felt like this was tied somehow to your success, maybe to career, to your life purpose. And the sense I got is that there's some worry about the future. There's some worry about how you're going to land, and I got the sense of you trying to grasp the ledge of this platform. That's kind of the worry. Is like, how am I going to grasp this? How am I going to hold on to it? But the sense that I got was you're going to land on your feet. So there's no need to worry about where your hands are going to be grabbing onto. That there's ease here rather than a struggle. And so it felt a little bit also that there was some ego stuff coming up, and ego's not inherently bad. It's how we rely on ego, and if we're only navigating by our ego. But there was some something about beliefs about yourself and others, and that there's this need to reevaluate. Because what was coming across was like this sense of insecurity. And along with this needing to be released was comparison. And I feel like in some way you're comparing yourself to others, and that is limiting you, and that is making you feel insecure because you're judging yourself against other people when they're on their own path. And really you're worrying about these things, or you're kind of projecting, or something about that is coming up and interfering with you when you should be enjoying that leap to the next level. So let's go ahead and pull from the Dark Mirror deck just to see what's in the shadow, what's in the subconscious that needs to be revealed, or what needs to be released so that good things can come in or develop. This one's sticking. Okay, so we have Masquerade. That's number 15. Masquerade. The immediate sense I'm getting is like wearing a facade, being fake, putting something on. And I'm not saying that you're being fake, pile 3. I mean, there could be an aspect to that of you not being your true self or not showing how you really feel about things. The sense I'm getting is that it feels like a masquerade where everyone is playing this part. And I feel like you feel this, that it all feels inauthentic. It feels disingenuous. But people aren't being forthcoming. And it feels like it's that battle of the egos. And there is that sense of judgment, or I'm better than you, or putting other people on pedestals, or people putting themselves on pedestals and putting that onto others, making it seem like they are better in some way. Like there's a sense of competition. So in some way it feels like you could be having to wear a mask of like, I'm okay, everything's fine, I believe in myself, but beneath the mask, you don't actually feel that way. It doesn't match up. It is a facade, it's a masquerade, and it feels pretty uncomfortable, pile 3. And you are, up leveling. It's not that this is necessarily holding you back, but it's definitely interfering with you enjoying life and releasing that anxiety and fear and worry and judgment and comparison would just free you up so much more and allow you to really reap the benefits of your hard work. Because I do feel like you work hard. And there's a sense of like, what I'm getting from Spirit is like, you feel like maybe people are going to find out that you don't deserve this, that you feel like you aren't worthy of this, and that you're going to be found out to be a fraud. Like imposter syndrome. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is a sense of like imposter syndrome, and people are going to be discovering that you aren't supposed to be there, that you haven't actually earned what you've achieved. So Spirit's saying this needs to be released, because it's only like creating stumbling blocks for you, pile 3. And it's not based in reality. It's not the truth. It's not what's authentic. Okay, so we have the Empress with Kali. We have Justice with Valkyrie. And we have 4 of Cups, Ghoul. So immediately seeing Kali here, I'm connecting it to that sense of having Azrael show up, and that idea of transformation and transition, and how death is the ultimate transition. So there is something here that you can, I heard the word dissolve. You can dissolve this away and repurpose it to create. With the Empress, there is new birth, there's new life, and I feel like this is what ultimately who you are. But I wonder if there's some aspect of you that doesn't recognize that. With the Four of Cups, with this being Ghoul, the first thing I'm getting is like there's this Ghoul, almost getting the sense of is it incubus or succubus that sits on your chest? That's the sense I'm getting. So there's like something that weighs on you and limits you. It is that kind of feeling of you being inferior, that insecurity, having to fake it, to feel like you're faking it when really in reality you are the Empress. And so Spirit's wanting you to acknowledge that there's a new way to see yourself and to show up in the world where you don't have to put on a mask. You don't have to hide behind a mask. And that you are worthy of this, because with justice, there is strength in knowing that you showing up and achieving, that it is fair. It is just. You are worthy of it. It is karmically you are deserving. And so what is making you feel undeserving? That's a question. And I feel like you need to ask this question of yourself. As you dig into shadow work, a lot of things can come up. This is what is sort of intimidating about shadow work. And so I will say, I am no professional. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. So I will say I cannot give that type of advice. I can speak generally. I can speak from my own experience of, say, doing inner child work and doing my own healing. So I will say, seek out what will help you, what you feel resonates with you. But there is some peeling away of these layers. And that's what shadow work is. It's finding what's there, what's creating stumbling blocks for you. And I see you transmuting them. Maybe you need to work with Kali. Work with Azrael. Work with that idea of death being a transition, being a transformation. And that there's power in this. And I'm feeling like I just heard cut through the bullshit. I feel like you can cut through the bullshit, pile 3. You maybe see that in other people, but you feel like in some way you have to wear this mask and pretend like you don't see the bullshit. So maybe that will resonate for some of you. But you're meant for this. Whatever you are achieving or trying to achieve, what you're working up to, you are deserving of it. You are not a fraud. You are not an imposter. But it is necessary to not compare yourself to others and put that on yourself. It's too much. And if people have kind of put that on you, that you need to compare yourself to others, it's just not helpful anymore. You can stand in your own power and your own strength and your sense of who you are in fairness and in an objective perspective. But ultimately, you know how abundant and creative and powerful you are. That is your truth. Okay, so we have intuition. You hold the answers. You know the truth. Ancient ones await behind the doors of the mind. Yeah. You know this about yourself. So why are you questioning it? Why are you comparing yourself and your truth to other people's truth? It's going to look different for everybody. Here we have Mischief 25. Keep your eyelids open and sight sharp as nails, for there is something trailing behind your tail. Okay, so is there someone or something that you're like carrying around energetically? And I don't mean this as like a scary, like supernatural attachment. I mean, there could be that, but what I'm saying is there's something that's not you that is making you question you. Pile 1 got a similar message. There's something sneaky here that's just messing with you. Is it another person? Is it a situation? Is it a belief about yourself? But you are way more powerful than this. You've got to cut it off. You've got to acknowledge that it's there and not let it keep you hostage. Because we know that this isn't the end, that death, being buried in the ground, like this is the metaphor, that's not the end. You don't have to be trapped here. You're not trapped here. You're beyond. You know that this isn't the final destination. You are, in a sense, moving up to the next level. So it's about recognizing that you don't have to stay in this old pattern or this old state. You don't have to be stagnant in this, that there's no good here. There could be people around you, again, with that sense of like being in a masquerade ball or something. And I don't know, I just keep getting that sense of like, snooty, uppity, judgmental people around you creating havoc, gossiping with that mischief. And it's just not helpful. It is just not helpful. And so if you can recognize that and cut ties with that, that would be helpful for you, so that you, again, don't feel like that need to put on that facade, to masquerade as something that you aren't. We had peace flip over. This is from the magical spell cards. We're looking at what good is coming in. So with peace, we have Bridget, goddess, in your sacred name, a light within me, peace is flame. Yeah, so more peace, more stillness, that, again, that connection where you're not worrying, you're not anxious, you're not fearing and comparing and feeling that insecurity. You're going to feel so much more stable and at ease and peaceful and actually just enjoy the process. Glamour, into this mirror, I now see the realms of possibility. Yeah, again, like with that idea of looking in a mirror. What do you see there? You're going to see your true self, not the mask that maybe other people gave you to wear, not the mask that you felt like you had to put on to show up in the world. You're going to see your true, authentic self, and you're going to feel powerful in that. And when you step into that and accept that and show that to people, allow it to be out there as your truth and to not doubt it and question it and feel insecure about it, to know that you are powerful, to accept the blessing of this, so many more things open up to you, pile 3. More doors open, you're no longer stagnant. So let's go ahead and look at your final card, which is the Halloween Oracle. Oh my gosh. Wow. We have graveyard, unnecessary fear. Again, with the graveyard, with the tombstone, you're not trapped here, pile 3. This isn't the end. If something's kind of feeling like it's coming to an end, know that you're about to land onto something new and better. It's an up-leveling. So you can feel peace in this. You can welcome this in and know that there's so much more. So let me go ahead and read from the book for graveyard. The stones they mark the eternal resting place, yet the spirits they are walking, and they are ready for the chase. Today's modern graveyards are restful places, normally highly manicured and very well set out, whilst they can be places of profound sadness. Few are the creepy Gothic places of old, yet they still hold an undercurrent of fear and seem frightening places. Due to countless stories of haunted graveyards, the thought of walking through cemeteries evokes fear in many of us. We imagine zombies and ghosts rising from the graves, and bad spirits hiding out, waiting to harm an unsuspecting living person who walks by. The idea of being at a graveyard after dark, or worse, at midnight, is the stuff of dares and nightmares. But this isn't the way with every culture. On the Mexican Day of the Dead, Whole families picnic on the graves of their loved ones who have passed. Children play upon the graves, people play music, drink wine, and share food, all in the company of the dead. Graveyard dust is used as an ingredient in protective spells, not in curses. Pull this card and know that you fear unnecessarily. Things are not as they seem, and you can overcome your obstacles. The anxieties you have, although real, should be put aside before they haunt you long term. Instead, trust that you know the correct next steps and that you will act upon them. Yeah, pile 3, you're way more powerful and prepared for this. You are ready. You are already doing it. It is time to release that doubt and that sense of insecurity and comparison, because you are your own power. You are highly intuitive and in touch with who you are. It is a matter of allowing it in and releasing the fear and stuff around this and to see where it comes from. But it really does feel like it's something put upon you by other people around you and making you feel like you have to compare yourself in some way to others. But know that you are deserving of this. It is coming to you fairly and squarely, and good things are coming in. Just feel the peace, allow it to come in, because there's so many more possibilities available to you when you are in that power, when you are in your sense of self and looking ahead, but not worrying. Just keeping your sight set on what it is you want, not worrying about how it's going to be when you get there or whether your past is holding you back, because it feels like it's not. You are deserving of this no matter where you've come from. I feel like I have to say that, no matter where you've come from. All right, pile 3. I hope this reading was helpful to you in some way. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, then hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And know that I give you my love and I wish you all the best. But until next time, bye, pile 3.